Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 16 Semifinals. Today, we're looking at Team Reedy taking on Team pvcpipe. With me here today is the Doctor of Dota, Randy.
Yeah, that's me in the corner.
And a man who just 7 days before today told Looter to kill himself, Barrel Rider. How you doing, Barrel Rider?
Yo, I stand behind everything.
There we go. It's a very interesting matchup, very interesting scenario here, because last time we saw these two teams, it was quite an unfair, unbalanced match, and probably not the way you would expect. Given how this season has went so far, on both teams' performances, you would have probably expected their game in week 6 to be a blowout favoring Reedy, but in reality, they barely won one game where a PVC team flagrantly threw, and then the next game, they just got steamrolled. So it'll be interesting to see how they keep the momentum going into this. It's going to be weird to see so many bands front-loaded here, but here we go.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Alright, first.
Radiant team
Ooh, Discord having a brief issue here, so we're going to get a little crusty audio for a minute.
Hero right now, according to
remaining.
Low bandwidth.
5 seconds remaining.
7?
Yeah, he gets one team gets 3 and one team gets 4 for some reason.
There we go, the ad copy's out.
14 bands total. Do they ban Warlock, or do they not care and ban the Sand King?
I'm guessing. Probably ban the Warlock. Is that Samolsky Classic?
Radiant team pick.
Himself, Barrel Rider.
Team ban.
How you doing?
Oh,
Oh no,
under-
everyone heard my own audio for 3 seconds. Crap. I blame Kitty.
Dire team pick.
Sank.
That's a good reason to not ban the Sand King.
They're picking Sanking.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yep.
Not a big surprise, Sand King has been very dominant since the new patch. One of the most generally successful heroes.
5
In
seconds.
fact, for the most part,
Team ban.
most of these bands seem to be the more meta types going out here. Outside of the Ogre Magi, who did get buffed, but still has yet to pass
Radiant
the surly
team
bond of 50% win rate.
Dire team ban. Dire
Hello,
team
Katie.
ban.
Shoutouts to you. Also getting to see the new pick and ban phase here.
Yeah,
For anyone
that's
who's not
stupid.
seen that yet. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to state too many of my opinions on a Dota patch in a public forum like this, where a lot of Dota fans are going to congregate. But it really just seems to me like the way they overhauled pick ban phase was like basically a confession that they're very, very unconfident about their ability to balance the game in the future, and so instead of trying harder to deal with hero power disparity, they just give you more bans at the front so you can get rid of the instant win heroes and also do at least a little bit of target banning. Warlock coming up here on the Monstars, as predicted here. It is a Molsky Classic, and it is doing pretty good right now, so Warlock coming up. It combos very well with the Sand King. Neither of these heroes does anything to the Undying, does anything about him. Presumably, they gonna have somebody further up the line to do something about him, because not only do neither of these guys affect Undying, well, I guess Sand King can potentially kill him, but not before he does all of his tricks. They are kind of weak to Tombstone, they are weak to losing their strength. They are weak to the debuffs from the Undying ult alike, so ideally you want to be picking up somebody here that's going to be a little better at dealing with that.
some insider information. J-Bay refuses to play the same hero twice this season.
That explains a lot. Well, wait, he's picked Neeks twice. That liar!
Oh, did he have Nyx last in the playoffs? Because he played 14 different heroes in 14 matches in regular season.
I could have sworn I saw a clip of him from Week 7 playing Neeks, but maybe it was somebody else on his team.
Someone said he was a hero puddler, which doesn't make sense to me.
Techie's coming out here.
G-
Beryl, between them banning Ogre and picking Techies, they've actually cumulatively cleared your entire pool. If you were on PVC's team right now, you'd have no one left to pick.
You know, that is actually true. Especially with Venge being so bad.
Yep. Interesting pick here, the Techies.
The stun, silence, and then disarm is just really good. It allows them to, like, whoever they're picking for a right clicker against it. It's just an annoying hero to play around, especially if it's going to be J-Bay playing it as 3 with whoever's going mid. I thought J-Bay was...
No, J-Bay's mid on this team. Sorry to break it to you.
J-Bay plays a different position in every league.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, he was a 3 last season on Looter's left side lunchboxes, but he is not a 3 this season.
Dire team pick.
Lion. One of the, conversely to most of the heroes picked bans so far, Lion, one of the biggest losers out of the new patch, unfortunately for him. Despite being 5th place in picks, he is like 44% in win rate. Something very dreadful like that.
I blame the bad players.
It could be bad players.
It's not quite at that Doom level yet. Certainly under 50 though.
Yep. It is interesting. I do think it has something to offer here, but I think Lion is pretty squishy for that lineup that the Radiant have picked so far. There's going to be a lot of situations in this game, I think, of Lion coming up, hitting Sand King in the Sandstorm with this Q, and then just dying half a second later. Darkseer is interesting. Is going to be, I think, in this scenario, I think the real politic of this pick is that it's going to be a soft ban for Katie. This is what we call pick phase. It's going to be a soft ban for a lot of pause ones more than a big outstanding forward-facing pick here. Invoker certainly does not care much about this guy.
Let's go.
Well, actually, I guess since he's an Invoker, since he's a Universal hero now, maybe it's actually a better matchup for Darkseer than it used to be.
See, the thing is, he doesn't really get damage because Exort doesn't do damage anymore. So, like, he gets
in fairness,
a little
it's
damage,
not like
realistically, like, he gets as much damage as Exort used to give him.
Well, it's not like the fake Invokers ever had Exort anyway.
That's true.
So
PA is still in the pool. Slardar could be
PA
a
is not still in the pool.
Oh.
No PA in the pool, please. CK ban, they're not letting that through.
I think that Dire needs the Wraith King.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst idea, being able to make it through the 5 seconds of fun that the Monstars, that the Reedy team lineup has got so far. Being able to make it through the 3 Mind Charges, being able to make it through the Sand King ult, being able to make it through the Golem stun and first few seconds of that would be a very, very large advantage. Gonna ban out the Ursa here.
Oh, so they might pick the Wraith King. Which is good for Radiant too, but
I think less so. Your decay, I believe, stays with you when you come back up.
10 seconds
it
remaining.
does. But with the Wraith King being able to sit there on the Tombstone, Techies and Invoker being able to hit it from outside of range, or with alacrity.
Wait, what are we even saying? Of course you can't pick Wraith King into Darkseer, that's terrible.
Interesting. You're gonna to see the new Spectre? Let's go. The new awful looking Spectre. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting because as I've mentioned before on cast, it's like you immediately said the hero is dead and Kitty immediately said the hero is massively overpowered, so I guess today we're gonna figure out who's right.
5 seconds remaining.
It makes Spectre able to fight better, because the new ult is cheaper and does more damage to an individual.
I guess you basically just have to build the hero different. I don't think it's necessarily dead or better. You just the build change.
I was kind of thinking about the potential of the Juggernaut here. I think it's pretty good. 4 of the heroes on this team, everything they do to you basically is going to be coming from cast, so good use of the Juggernaut skills, the Q and the ult, are going to be very good ways to avoid damage that this team can do, especially early. Like, you know, Spectre can join fights early, but mostly in a cleanup capacity. Even with the new ult, it's still mostly in a cleanup capacity. So, you know, Juggernaut can join with this team and get fights happening aggressive and early before the Radiant lineup can really afford to put Spectre on the table. The only downside is I don't think I like him too much against the actual Spectre, and nobody else on his team is that great against her either. So if they don't...
You take damage from Epicenter and spin, because it's debuffing you, right? It's not magic damage immunity.
I mean, yeah, you do, but it's also, like, really crappy damage. It's like 100% reduction to the magic damage, though. It's like almost nothing. It's also, I believe, going to get rid of any Fatal Bonds, which are going to be a major part of every Radiant team fight, is going to be trying to get the most out of the Fatal Bonds, plus, you know, combos like the Epicenter. He is going to be able to ignore those for a while, so... It is interesting. I think the Jug is a good pick. I think Wraith King would have been better, because I think he also has tricks to survive all that nonsense, and also I think is going to fare better against the Spectre. But this should be okay. I don't think this game has necessarily been decided in draft. I think I have to favor the Reedy team just a little bit, because their team seems to be more focused on, more built around more meta picks, and you don't have anybody who kind of feels like they're lacking a place. Unfortunately, old Darkseer. You know, I've said before on cast that, you know, for Darkseer, there's a very distinct difference between Darkseer and some of his other Pos 3 counterparts, like an LC, for example. Darkseer needs to have a good game, whereas, like, LC needs to not have a bad game, if that makes sense, as far as the draft goes, right? Like, if LC has a bad enemy team, then she's going to have no impact, she's going to do nothing. But if it's just, like, neutral, then she's going to do fine. Darkseer kind of needs a good situation to have much impact beyond just Surge and auras. Now, the good news is a lot of matches are good matches for the Darkseer, where you're going to get, like, these very strong, very high right-click power carries in your wall, in your, Ags, where you're going to be able to just clone them and make them just beat the crap out of their own team. You know, things like your Medusa, most famously. The problem is like, Spectre is going to be kinda, but she's only really going to be a great target after probably the game is no longer competitive. And everybody else on that lineup doesn't care about the Darkseer much at all, outside of, like, if you get an incredible wombo combo. So it's going to be a little difficult for PVC to have much impact on this game. As far as the skills go, he's going to be depending a lot on those items, baby. But I don't think that's in itself necessarily going to sink his draft, because I think the drug pick in response is just so good, and I don't think this is the best Spectre game in the world. She kind of has one easy target to prey on. She's going to find it hard to demolish backlines when she also has to worry about Tombstone, has to worry about Vacuum. So, to that end, I think that Poslim pick, even if the matchup's not good for Jug, is generally going to be favoring him. So this is nice. We're going to be looking at a game mostly based around execution. Am I still on? Somebody say something. Oh, I'm not
It's so
still
sad
on.
to watch techies harass the jug.
Ooh, there we go.
Rest in peace.
Had to briefly, unfortunately, missed that first blood because I had to take care of a Discord-related issue there, but... causing me problems recently, this old Discord program is, but... Either way. TLDR, the thing I was saying when you guys couldn't hear me on the Discord side of the equation, I don't think draft is particularly going to be the deciding factor in this game. I do think this is going to be an execution game for both teams. Just making it come together. Which is nice. Suck ass to get into a semifinals, and then it's like, okay, game's decided at 1 minute and we go 50, what can you do, right? But
I have a Quasi-Lex Invoker. Gonna buy shard. It's my favorite item.
He's got double the last hits, and he's getting denies. The Quasi-Wax is really good to prevent him from being able to use the Astral Imprisonment to actually, like, secure creeps.
Oh, he's gonna have a lion come in here.
Sure,
Yeah,
Not
but
gonna
it
do
doesn't do
much.
anything except stats
Full level.
XP.
It's a level 1 lion. Not sure. This is about,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Meanwhile, while that was that interesting gank was happening, Matt, with the tombstone in hand, ran over Techies. Just got rid of him here. Can say this: I don't really think this Dire offlane, or this Radiant offlane rather, is gonna do anything to this Dire safe lane. Like, this is kind of the nightmare scenario for these two guys right here.
It was
Like-
really sad watching techies right-click the Juggernaut and doing 6 damage per
Yeah.
shot.
He does 6 damage per shot, and Sand King's main source of damage, his main utility in a lane. I mean, he hasn't even leveled Sandstorm. That's where we're at this point. He just used Burrow Strike to get a range creep, and Jug still denied it anyway. That's where we're at this point. You hate to see it. Good news is at the very least, the other two lanes are kind of struggling. Darkseer's only really tying up this lane, which is not a good spot for Darkseer to be. Slizzy is still on the back foot compared to Invoker, even with his 1 second of random interference from Lion.
They're just running under tower, and then he's out of XP range with also denies, right? So he's getting gold, but he just, in a solo lane, he's going to hit level. He just hit level 4, and Spectre's about to hit level 4.
Yep. At the very least, now they have to watch the stupid Satyr die. Warlock was so committed to getting that last hit that he actually used Fatal Bonds to try and secure it, and I don't think he did.
Not PVC got it.
They
Oh, he
did not
did?
bring
Nice.
Vision to fight an Invoker.
Meanwhile, at top, by the way, Techie just randomly dies again. I think the strategy that the Dire are employing here of having Lion rotate to mid on a frequent basis is solid, because I don't think Darkseer necessarily needs to help this lane. Even with the Warlock buffs, I don't think they have much kill potential on him. Like, you know, if he decides he needs it, he still has Surge here, and they still can't do anything about that. They're just going to drop a load of skills on him and just kind of waste a lot of mana and time and get nothing. So you can definitely
Lion's
have
also
Lion,
got Pat stacks
Yep.
for PVC to go farm.
making stacks, going on the mid, having Reflesky be an absentee parent in this lane is a good idea. I think, long and short. Have we done the roll call? I don't think so. I think Discord was crapping out when I was about to do it, so let's do it now. On Team Reedy, Pause 1, the man himself, captain of the team. On the Spectre, we have Reedy. Pause 2, on Invoker, we have J-Bay. Pause 3, on the Sand King, we have Giraffe. Pause 4, on the Techies, we have 1-Up Molsky, but no second 1-Up, sadly. Who has, at this point, reached to the point where he has to use his Blast Off. I always want to say Suicide Squad. He had to use his Blast Off to harass it all. And pause 5, you have the Sabo on Warlock. On the other side of the coin, for Team pvcpipe, pause 1 on the Juggernaut, you have Godlike Matt, who at this point has hit the highest last hit count and already has some kills, which is not great. Looking for the Reedy lineup. Pause 2, you have Slizzy playing the OD, because it was either that or Clinks. Pause 3, you have pvcpipe on the Darkseer.
Oh, we're gonna get a Dead Dark Undying.
JB goes top, goes for a little kill here.
Really complicating this. Like, if he wasn't there, I think they just kill Matt. But very good timing from Refleski.
This line is level 2 at 7 minutes. Like, this is just bad. Like, yeah, he went mid, but like...
Slizzy is rotated, but it's like a very late rotation, so he's not going to get much done. At the very least, he's going to get the Sand King out here.
So Lion just goes mid, soaks XP. The first item he pulls out at 6 minutes with his courier is another set of tangos, and he's not in lane fighting. He's just walking between lanes. He's got a lot of stacks, but he's not gonna have anything. He's gonna be so behind the rest of the game. It'll be level.
That. On the other hand, I do think, like, for example, the rotation to top there did just probably save Matt's bacon, which is probably more important than that. I think he is falling behind. It is definitely better to not do so. But I think as long as he has some kind of comeback plan, and usually Refleski has been good with those in these types of scenarios, he should be okay. Like, if nothing else, if worse comes to worse, I mean, for starters, he just got Wisdom Rune. But if worse comes to worst, he can just, like, sit by pvcpipe while he does the big stacks he made and just get, like, 2 levels off that instantly and be at least on track with the other supports. Not the most ideal thing for poor Mr. Pipe, but, I mean, it's Darkseer, so he's going to be fine. He's going to get his levels anyway. pvcpipe now trying to do this little stack in the... trying to do a wall here. He just, I think he just surged the fake Spectre that he made. As you can see here, with the first wall, not much done. They did put off enough time, at the very least, that the Lion got to TP out. Just not die there where he would have.
I think if Lion can't get levels, and definitely isn't getting any items, here soon, every time Lion is on the map, we can see a Shadow Step kill him.
Well, as long as the Radiant team is going to have the vision advantages, we're going to make that a very important little ward war in the time moving forward. Take a look at the net worth chart here. You can see Jug is actually the very top of it. The mids are almost 500 gold behind a piece. Actually, Slizzy is 500 gold behind. Invoker just shy of it. With the Spectre and the Sand King trailing behind that, and then PVC kind of trailing both. Behind everyone else, at least he's well ahead of the support line. If nothing else.
Really interesting for PVC to be 800 below the Sand King, and when Sand King's been just like dying.
Well, I do think a lot of that came from,
getting the 1 kill.
Yeah, getting the kill, getting the A as well on the Undying, who had pretty disproportionately large amounts of money from the 3 assists prior. I have not gotten the job. Invis-Rune on the
Come on, kill Molsky. Oh, they don't have vision. This is a bad thing to do.
The tornado. Bird griefing this fight.
Yeah, JB's showing up here. They do now have the vision. They now have very much vision. They're going all in on the support line. Oh, really just needs to drop the tombstone here. Very hesitant to use it. Omni's just going to take out the techies there.
Wrecking backline right now.
Yep. JB is wrecking the front line nearly as much.
And it is Eclipse.
Yep. Lion, or not Lion, Warlock just dropped his ult on the Jug, who was still spinning at the time.
Tornado.
Slizzy gets the,
Jimmy is dead here? Yes, sir.
He should be. He's gonna try and at least outlive the not the G-Rat, the Slizzy, but does not actually do that. Oh, and by the way, while that big fight was happening, pvcpipe dove the Spectre at bot with an illusion of her and killed her. So things are very quickly swinging into the PVC team's favor here.
Even after that, it's still less than 1,000, though. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah, welcome to the current patch. I mean, part of it is that
this game. Honestly, I don't know what they do about him.
Yeah, Jug is very likely. Like I said, his matchup against Spectre isn't great, but that's only really going to matter later. If Jug is able to get such a big advantage that he's able to...
on the Slizzy here.
Okay.
He's dead.
He's astraling.
Get him!
He's going to get a bounty rune.
Ooh, almost. Okay, he's not
I think
dead.
he had an urn on him, and he can still take urn damage while being astraled.
That'd be funny. Dark Seer is missing. Giraffe has got haste. Sand King is now one fast fella. Shoutouts to Vex, who's joined us in the chat today to say he's a giraffe enjoyer. pvcpipe doing this big old stack. Yep.
So happy right now.
I would like to tell Vex I'm sorry.
For what?
He knows what I did.
Our daddy's taught us not to be ashamed of what we did.
Alright, so... see what happens. Are they gonna do anything to Spectre? No, they're just farming the big stacks.
Yep, probably just gonna look at her and scare her. Well, Jug just takes a big freaking honkin' stack. 13 minutes, Jug has a 700 gold lead over second place here. It is interesting how...
1,500 of that is just Midas, so it's actually larger.
It is interesting how well everybody is assembled with their net worth here. Jug and Invoker are, okay, they're getting farther and farther away, but the OD and the Sand King are at nearly identical net worth. The Dark Seer, the Spectre at nearly identical net worth. It's very aesthetically pleasing. Nothing else. By the way, enemy has vision in the bottom jungle.
They are looking for the Spectre.
They ran into pvcpipe while he was AFK here.
He should still be able to...
Yeah,
he was trying to get through the gate after seeing, but...
They're gonna pull in the... Juggernaut's just gonna run over Molsky while this is happening. Well, he's gonna try and then get disarmed is what he's gonna do. Rest of his team's cleaning up the Sand King behind.
Great assist by the Centaur there.
Yeah, but if I was Centaur Warrunner, I would be very proud.
They brought Dust this time?
And yep, they had Dust last time too, it just came a little late. And Savo's just gonna...
I've ever seen do nothing.
Savo is going to watch his Warlock Golem just die. Oh, he dies too. Another big play by the PVC team. Juggernaut now about $1,500 above second place, and second place is now one of his own team.
So Lion got a finger stack there, despite his finger coming off 3 seconds before Sand King died.
Yeah, this hero's easy. What can I tell you? Notably, if you look at the XP chart, you were talking about Reflesky being behind, but he's actually doing basically as good as the Warlock in both XP and net worth at this point. He's about to surpass Warlock for XP, actually, because he's about to pick up the Wisdom here. Takis is going to bully out the Undying up at top.
Murder the Undying.
Oh, wow. That should never happen.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate scenario there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sabo is just going to sit here, upheavaling creeps while they explode. Slizzy's smart, he just uses his illusions to go do some chip damage to that T1 mid. But unfortunately, nobody has ever accused Slizzy of being a smart man.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I don't even know who Slizzy is.
Me neither.
I only know classic LD2L player Slizzy, who has a different account.
That's true. Oh, Slizzy Smurfing? Slizzy Smurfing live in chat?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Slizzy has attracted the attention of Spectre, who is now going to call the whole Goon Squad to go after a mid, but is not going to be there anymore by the time they get there. Pahoro is going to dance to Clown on Nothing in the jungle. Interesting little scenario here happening at the mouth of the river here. The Radiant looked like they were going to try and go into the jungle there, but when they ran into the Dire team, they actually had to turn around to get out. They had to pull teepees here, though, for very little gain or reason, so it was ultimately still a good thing for the Radiant.
Sorry, I'm just angry.
Why?
Can you see my pings? I don't know how this works.
No.
Oh, look at the left side of the map, about in the middle.
Around the former Roche pit? Gonna need some more directions here. The left side of the map is pretty big.
The farthest left, directly in the center.
Okay.
It's big and purple.
Oh no. Unfortunately.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Well, what can you do?
Yep. Again, just to reiterate, the Lion that you were talking about falling behind has surpassed Warlock now by about an entire level. Partially because Warlock just won't get the stinking Invis rune. Or not the stinking Invis rune, the stinking Wisdom rune. Juggernaut's found himself a DD. I bet these guys probably want to fight within the next few seconds.
Probably.
Or at least willing to just shred this T1 here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Matt looking for anyone he can find. Dire are running like hell right now. They want none of this except Molsky. Molsky is fine with having any of this.
Okay,
I think they're coming in on the back line here. Just try to get rid of the support line and just got omnied with the DD. Bye-bye, Spectre.
Shadow Amulet. Slizzy's dead though.
Yeah, that is true.
Be an interesting fight. They can't kill the tomb fast enough.
Molsky gonna get shredded off sides. PVC standing in the middle of a lot of pain with his wall up. Hasn't done much. PVC is just guaranteed to die here.
Oh my god. They were so ready to do something sick there, but they decided to sit there hitting a tomb for 20 seconds.
They still took out two.
He would have just committed to dying and just used his suicide squad, you know?
Well, wishes and nuts were candy and nuts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, big finger from Lion, but they're actually still not gonna get Giraffe here. Ooh, maybe. It's gonna be close.
2-1, blink TP?
Nope.
No.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Warlock getting cleaned out on the back line.
Interesting fight. Everyone's dying everywhere, you know?
Yeah, the Radiant kind of had 2 steps forward in the last fight. Losing Spectre was rough, but getting Slizzy and getting OD and Darkseer clean without losing that much for it was fine. And then they just randomly threw away 2 more lives chasing ghosts. I don't know.
That I may not falter in my flight.
Well, I can't really say that they didn't lose much because their puzzle is already really behind died, but
That's true. At the very least, she's still ahead of the Darkseer. Darkseer's just finished up a pipe of insight. Should actually be a pretty big pickup here. Like a huge amount of Radiance damage at the moment is going to be coming out from Magic, so having that on hand is going to be big news for him. PVC has spotted out the Reedy. Let's see what happens now. He's going to punch him once, and then Reedy's faster than him. Well, nuts.
Just walk away.
It's Dark Zero for you.
As they used to say, you know, just turn 360 degrees, walk away.
Two, okay, there's one Wisdom Rune. Somebody got the Radiant one. The Dire one is now untouched.
Lion's running for it, though. Fairness, the Dire one is untouched. It also spawned 20 seconds ago. And Lion right-clicked the moment it did.
I thought it was 22, not 21. My bad.
I think it's multiples of 7.
No, I mean, I thought the time was 22.
Oh, there we go. Vex in chat has proclaimed Slizzy God. Well, Spectre used to be very confident about staying here, but suddenly not so much anymore. But Juggernaut can't actually get to her because of all this crap in his way, and he doesn't have phase boots.
My jug needs a Blink Dagger.
Well, that was a very,
we just talk about that Spectre's actual net worth is 4,000 because he's walking around with 4,000 gold.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very true, yes.
He wants to buy the entirety of a,
His effective net worth is below Warlocks, I think, maybe?
Wants to buy the entire Scotty at once. And wants to really, really, really badly not die on the way to that, I guess. These guys really are not confident about just trying to maul the Sand King without Jug there. Jug now queuing up the Butterfly. I will say, I do think they should be a little careful about trying to play slowly and farm here. I don't think, in the long run, the PVC pipe...
Spectre's gonna die now. He's surrounded. He walked all the way to the top lane without hitting a single camp, and is now just there. Oh no, he can TP out.
TP because everybody on the PVC team is super slow.
Yikes.
And even if they had gotten there, the only other hero that was close was Undying, who also doesn't have a stun, and Juggernaut, who also doesn't have a stun, so...
I figured they wouldn't just he-who astral him to initiate.
In fairness, if the Spectral Dagger is up by the time they get there without Lion, I think it's very tough. Really just need Lion to actually be able to just stop that from happening.
Well, slash.
Molsky, well that's embarrassing. Sand King just ulted nothing because all he got was just Juggernaut omniing and spinning. But Molsky uses the medallion there to get rid of all of his armor so Jug can just kill him. That's kind of sad. Just accepts his fate, I guess. Sabo just considered dropping ult. Sabo just actually dropped ult. Interesting wall here from the Darkseer.
They do nothing to this Jug.
Yep, they do. They kind of do plenty to everybody else.
Very good Sunstrike. They should be able to turn and get PVC.
G-Raf is just hiding in the sandstorm here. Hard to find, but they did eventually get him down. Like Sabo trying to use the golem to get rid of the tombstone there does not work like that. J-Bay has allowed himself to take a lot. Yep.
He's really owning. Okay.
He's allowed himself to take a lot of tombstone hits here.
Don't die, Reedy.
A lot of zombies.
Unfortunate. Triple kill for J-Bay, however.
Yeah, it's probably ultimately worth it for Radiant team. 4 for 2. Even if they lost Spectre at this point, let's just call a spade a spade. The most important thing about this lineup is going to be like, Spectre is going to be the Doomsday Clock. The most important part about this lineup is going to be getting it so that Spectre can, like, exist. And if Invoker starts to super pop off all of a sudden, then that's good for them. That'll buy them the time they need. On the other hand, it is going to be interesting to see if that same success can be found in a team fight where Juggernaut is not going to completely ignore the guy as he has been for the last 2 or 3. I think Juggernaut is relying a lot on the OD to try and specifically take care of the Invoker, but that's hard. He's not going to one-shot the guy, he's not going to completely get rid of him, he's usually losing the 1v1s outright, in fact.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Molsky. Well, Molsky is the luckiest man alive because Slizzy just was in perfect. He was perfectly vision obstructed by one tree there, so he didn't see him with a haste rune. I don't know what Vex was oofing, but whatever it was at least 2 minutes ago. Something was oof. There was oof present. Sanking going quickly for the Aghanim Scepter here.
He's gonna go on PvC.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under
PvC. A little less fortunate guys for him to go on here. He's going to have to be happy with just getting his courier, which PvC just got his BKB off of. Meanwhile, his team takes out the Tormentor, gets Lionish kind of crappy shard.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Juggernaut still sitting at 3k over the, well, 4k now over the next best net worth. Has finished up his Butterfly, is now working on his own Ags. Which isn't the worst idea in the world, I don't think. Being able to maximize the amount of time that you have off screen by having both the Omni and the Swift Slash will give you nothing but dividends against this lineup, I think. You really are going to struggle to do anything about Jug during ult, and are going to struggle to stop him from doing it with a pretty limited array of CC and nothing that's going to go through his spin. I mean, I guess technically nowadays everything quote-unquote goes through his spin, but none of it actually stops him. Oh, they saw Sanking blink and assumed he got out, but he actually didn't. He was too close there. Really need to,
looking for a fight here.
Yeah. Not Molsky. Slizzy instead on the OD just gonna find a bunch of mines with his face. This team has very large problems. On one hand, this team has very large problems actually trying to initiate on the Radiant lineup, on the Reedy lineup. But on the other hand, a big part of that is also because the reason that happens is that when the Radiant lineup think that Dire is like on their same half of the map, they just start right-clicking a tower or fountain. So they're wasting a lot of time in these huge retreats. They're not taking losing fights, which is good. This isn't much better.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
It's better if they make an Archer drone, which is
probably true. Spectre solo farming up at bot. Gonna take out T1 here. The OD has moved in to secure the area. Wants to so badly to deny this tower, but it's just outside of deny range.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, you're now split up at top. Hohohoro's still staying. The Undying still staying. Both supports, actually. Whereas Radiant has now all come together here. And goodbye, Undying. Gonna buy a second or two of the Glimmer, but nothing more than that. So at this point in the game, pretty good for them. They just got 761 gold off of a support, and most of it went to Spectre. Has allowed the Dire to take a massive lane advantage, with both the mid and off lanes now pushing up to T2.
I'd really like to see a team take a Tormentor.
Hey, Dire already did that.
They should take the other Tormentor now.
There you go.
I'll take your...
Seem to be fairly unwilling in that off lane to push up past where the T1 used to be for Radiant at top. Seem to be very unwilling to push past that range, perhaps because last time they were there they had a fight that they did not like the outcome of. Spectre has just got nags, so we'll now have the old haunt again. Juggernaut Ags, not too far behind at least. Stack neutrals. Radiant doing a good job at this point of just trying to slow down this game as much as possible. Making every push up a lane a very risky proposition and just wasting all the time in the world when they do. Techie's just finished up an Octarine core. Beryl, I didn't know you were playing in this game.
Did I do that?
No, it's just the kind of wacky thing you would do, though. Flyman Smoke coming out of the Radiant. They're very frustrated not being able to find anybody for the last few minutes, and now they're gonna get one by hook or by crook. They're looking at Sand King. Sand King, not the one you want to find, unfortunately, here. He's the one they're likely gonna run into. And yeah,
oh, the
immediate blinks.
My god.
You saw it with the long neck.
Dude, commit the haunt to this.
Yeah, the hunt actually gets a little messed up as the
oh my god, they're destroying.
Lion slaps all the illusions out of existence. They're
Wasted at the center because he uses it under Tombstone and then can't catch anyone.
Okay.
Okay, the Omni Slash just got entirely eaten almost by a golem. Okay, Reedy. Reedy's
okay.
so low.
Reedy's gonna be fine. Nope, nope, phase boots.
Oh, the Sand King! Giraffe saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Juggernaut's decision to not buy
No
phase
vision?
boots this game has just been costing him so much. There have been so many fights where he was just a little too slow. There have been so many fights where he just got body blocked by something. It is
And
really
he just comes back
a pain
full
in the
health
ass.
and they get the Darkseer.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So they should be able at the end to spin, slow him down to few. Yep. Oh, no, out of range. There it is.
The Mantis Cell comes out here. Split Slash is going to give him some time. He is out of mana. Darkseer is going to buy. I think they realize kind of rightfully that if Matt dies here, it's a massive disaster, and he did, so it was.
This game kind of looks good now, huh?
Oh, immediate lift.
This game kind of looks over now, huh? This may very well be the point of no return, I think. Radiant have now secured a 4K gold advantage.
I think if Reedy also, instead of finishing this butterfly right now, just gets his shard, he can fight so much longer. Just like he could have tanked that entire Omni Slash that he did without it doing anything. Nice stun by Giraffe.
So hard to get Pohoro out of there, but they just cannot. Ags is out now on Giraffe, and the Burrow Strikes in this massive Sandstorm are very annoying to deal with. Tower comes out, T2 Radiant. Or T2 Dire for the Radiant, rather. At mid. And it's really starting to look like the opportunity to win for the Dire team has kind of fallen through their fingers. I don't think they're completely dead in the water yet, but I do think they're... The point of them having control over this scenario probably is. I think at this point, it is likely that the Radiant is going to have to mess up to lose another fight. Wisdom Rune spawns in. Slizzy is going to consider taking it and then not do so. He's going to give it to Lion like a nice guy.
Yeah, because then both the supports get it, rather than in +1 support.
Butterfly finished up on the Spectre. To match Juggernaut's own, I guess.
Hopefully he gets a shard next and we can go Spectre sharded.
I think Jug is the one who feels like he's sharded at this point.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant doing Roche.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's likely going to be safe. I don't think the Dire has any idea this is happening.
They ran the wrong way, so they're too far.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yep. Roche falls down, Spectre immediately snaps it up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's a funny thing to say, but at this point, I bet you Dire is kicking themselves over not getting the Wraith King in this game. Because if they had Wraith King right now, this would still feel like okay. But because Jug into Spectre is such a worse pause 1 to pause 1 matchup, it doesn't feel good at all having this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Like, it really feels like
Dire's top
you're either just going to have to suddenly surprise the hell out of her and just Thanos snap her from existence.
Speaking of which, actually...
Speaking of which, they're all running at her with no stuns, so guess what she's going to do now?
Well, I kind of thought it would be this closer, but apparently not.
Oh, they're at the doghouse.
Yep.
The well.
Sanking gets a Crimson Guard. I can't say I agree much with that decision at this point. Maybe 15 minutes ago, baby. Penta Edge coming out for Juggernaut. Maybe the last...
Yeah, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago.
Going to get just a very free go on Pohohoro here, and the wall comes down again for little value.
Tornado actually caught Matt, but not sure they do much. Oh, value line shard.
Yeah, he's actually... yeah, he is indeed still dead, but at least he wasted like a solid minute. I don't know why Slizzy was trying to walk into that. That was suicide. Luckily he realized that at some point and started going back home. Well, it's now 6v3. Crimson Guard gonna come out here. Juggernaut uses Swift Slash and immediately just falls on a bunch of goons.
He has a spin to get out, so it's okay.
Looking at MKB, yep. Wants to,
butterfly,
Look at an Invoker going through the jungle here, but he's just so fast. They just can't... There's no hope in hell they catch him here.
He's under a sentry.
He's under his own sentry.
Oh, that is a sentry, yeah, my bad.
I was meant to...
The dire sentries further back.
Yep. They knew he was there, they just couldn't catch him. Feels like that's just been the recurring story of the Dire through the whole game. Like, every time they have an advantageous scenario, they are literally too slow to get it. Like, they start going for it the moment they see it, and by the time they get it, it was over 5 minutes ago. It's a very odd thing to say, but the mobility gap in these lineups is gigantic, it feels like. And it's really a pain in the ass. Well, the problem is you have a surge, but the other problem is that it's like when you're facing Spectre, Spectre is probably going to be on the opposite side of the map as you. Sand King has his Bro Strike and his Dagger, which means that if you aren't invisible on his face, basically, he can just get out before you do anything. And that's been the case basically the whole game. Shark comes out for the Darkseer here. He's going to make his surge slightly cooler, so that'll help at least. Trying to go for a Hex here. Which I guess on a team that is going to be very disproportionately built around one specific hero is not a bad thing to get, but I think it is very ambitious to be queuing that up as the lowest net worth core in the server at this point. Drug just ran straight into the Spectre here, who is just going to use her ult to get out.
Nice, nice.
And they got the fake and the real one left. TP'd home.
Easy. A basher, very nice.
Who got that now?
Spectre.
Okay. Yeah, you said a basher. I saw Techies buy something, and then you said a Basher, very nice, and I got very worried.
It's a Universal Hero, you can buy it.
Yeah, there you go. Surprisingly, Pipe got his Hex slightly slower than the Invoker, who's nearly 10k more net worth than him.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Illusion.
The fake jug just eating the sentry there.
The real Jug is eating Volsky.
That was very weird.
Nice.
He used the Swiss Slash on Techies alone. It broke the Lincolns and then worked anyway. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, Lincoln's Tour only subs the first attack of Omni Slash. That's, I believe, how it works.
Well, they've fooled Giraffe into initiating, but his initiate at this point is to blink in and hit his low cooldown W, so not mean much.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Lion got the Wisdom Ring at least. Ping's coming out on map. Big line. Linedetail.com.
Linedetail.com.
Every time I say linedetail.com, I always want to say line design because I feel like that's a better name. It rhymes, you know?
Maybe it's already taken.
Maybe. Juggernaut beats the crap out of the fake Spectre, in which it was the real one. Both teams likely waiting on the next Roche attempt. Playing very cautiously until then.
Yeah.
The win percent graph is at 70%.
Yep.
In Radiant's favor.
72% to be specific, and it's hard to disagree with that.
I gotta take care of something. I will rejoin the call in a moment.
Who was this guy again?
Looks like an early Roche. So it's up in a few seconds.
Yep, they are, they're gonna be smoking here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're gonna be smoking. They're definitely wanting Spectre, but Spectre smells something up and immediately just goes to Triangle. Somehow Seer here. Not sure how, but they do.
Pretty good haunt, but that wasn't a haunt, it was a shadow step. My bad.
This is a haunt.
Okay, that is a haunt. Oh, the Cataclysm!
Cataclysm comes out, supports on Radiant are just instantly dead. They're gonna likely get the Sand King here. No, they're not even gonna get that. Yep. This is over.
Cataclysm has arrived.
PVC in this fight has fallen below the techies in the net worth chart. Sand King and techies are missing. It's not true even. No buyback on the jug either, which is really rough.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Lift coming out here.
Radiant's
Warlock Heel's gonna just soak all that up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They say we end now.
Vector going right for T4. It's more than likely to get at least one. The only buyback that comes out is the OD, who does about as much damage to the Spectre at this point as an average catapult was, and just immediately dies.
Dead. Oh boy, that is unfortunate. They can finish.
Yep. They're going to finish.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Dire calls the G for going home.
Radiant victory.
After very dominant performances against this team in the group stage. TY for Games, Scissor Flusky, who I guess is leaving after this. After very dominant performances in the group stage game, the Monstars turn it around here, and well, I mean, I'd love to say that it's more complicated than this, but it really is just down to this. The average win rate of heroes on the Reedy team lineup is like 56% globally, and the average win rate on heroes on the PVC lineup is just like 48, 49. Probably actually
Bro, I
a
thought the
little
game
lower.
wasn't over in drafts. Question mark.
At first I thought that, but I think in practice it was just too far. The Darkseer ended up feeling like, you know, I will say the build was part of it. I mentioned that in a game like this, Darkseer is mostly going to just be auras and surge, and he built one aura. That didn't help. But I think in the long run, it actually kind of did end up being that. The Reedy team just picked all the meta guys, and that was just that. Just felt like, even though the Dire played it well, I think, for the most part, in the first half of the game, generally better than the Reedy lineup. Did not matter when all their heroes were just slower, weaker, and worse. And, in particular as well, too much comfort on Slizzy with an OD in a game that didn't match him at all, and not enough comfort on PVC, who is not a Darkseer specialist, and playing him in a kind of subpar Darkseer game. See what happens next time, though. Game 2.